Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name is Kobe Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we're bringing a special guest, somebody who has been super influential in our industry and also just an incredible leader in our community. And we're really excited to bring this guest. We have Mr. Craig Tann, who is the owner and broker of Huntington Ellis. Craig, say hello to everyone.
Good morning, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
And of course, and for us, we always get a lot of great community leaders to come in and really just share what they're up to, but not too often do we have great industry leaders who we have the pleasure of just, working shoulder to shoulder with and doing what we do to support people. So thank you so much for coming in. And of course, we look forward to hearing your perspective on things.
My pleasure. I'm honored to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, tell us, a little bit about yourself. Let the listeners know a little bit about you and how long you've been here in Las Vegas and your background.
Sure, absolutely. So in the real estate industry for just about 17 years, I started in the New York real estate market. I was there for about a year or so selling real estate. That's where I grew up. Came out to Las Vegas like a lot of people on vacation, 21 years old, and got back to New York, packed up my car, left my apartment, and drove straight out here. So within 30 days, I was living out here. Had a friend of mine that was in the lending business, and he was the one that actually introduced me to Las Vegas, and that's why I came out here to visit. Worked for Prudential, that was bought out by Berkshire Hathaway, and we're just about our 4-year anniversary of Huntington Ellis, a real estate agency. Launched that 4 years ago.
Yeah. That's what's funny is we have the exact same story. I came out here on a vacation, and I went to go visit the company that I was working for. And I went home, packed my bags. 28 days later, I moved back to Vegas.
Awesome.
In 2000, April 2000. So I'm on 20 years here. So
wow.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah,
wow.
Vegas sucks you in. I mean, you come out from, I know you're from Rhode
Northeast,
Island, right? Yeah. So you come from, your East Coast or Midwest, and you come out to Vegas, and you see everything's brand new and clean, and, just opportunity.
Vegas is a pleasure, man. I remember, from Nashville, I traveled here about 4 or 5 times for a leadership course I was doing, and it was an easy sell. I was like, you know what? I love it. It's great. I'm diving in. And sure enough, made the move and never looked back. It's been a pleasure since we've been here.
Yeah. Anyone that comes out here, like, seeing the opportunity, you saw the mass opportunity that we all had here, and it's kind of like a reset button, right, in life. I asked you to come in because one of the things that I love about you is you're always giving. Like, I watch how you grew your team. I watched your transition from, Prudential to, Huntington and Ellis. I watched that. I watched you get married to your wife. But also recently with the pandemic going on, I've watched you grow as a tremendous leader in the community with the way that you give back. And, that inspired us so much, right? It's not, there's a lot of people that do things to do them, and there's things that people lead from their heart, and we see you doing that. So thank you. And really, what inspires you to keep going like you do every day now?
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's interesting when this pandemic first happened. I'll be honest, I shut down for 3 days. I was almost paralyzed. I didn't know what to do, and I found myself just thinking about myself, not thinking about anybody else, just selfishly worried about Craig and Craig's business and what's going to happen and what does this look like. And after those 3 days, I started thinking about, okay, when the market crashed last time, and I'm not saying I think the market's going to crash, but that was the last time something really, tragic from a real estate standpoint happened. I started thinking about, okay, what did I do? What made us great? What made us come out really strong? And when I look back on that, I started thinking about, okay, I got to start giving. That's what makes me happy. I got to figure out a way to give. So first I started with, looking at our agents and our staff and saying, hey, you know what? I got to be all in on these people through this. So every staff member I committed, hey, we're keeping them no matter what, full scale pay, no cuts, everybody's staying on board no matter what, whether this takes a month or 6 months, I'm keeping everybody. So that was the first thing for staff. And then for my agents, I just knew that they needed me there for them. A lot of them haven't seen a downturn in a market. Yeah. I needed to keep a really good conversation going with them. So the first thing I did is I picked up the phone and I called every single agent, had a great conversation with them to check in, see where they're at, what I can help them with. And then I started thinking about what can we offer more as a company. So going through things that we're doing great, and then also coming to the realization of things that we're maybe not so good at, and how do we make them better. And then I started thinking about the community and saying, okay, who needs our help? And I saw actually a lot of you probably know Danny Bald. She posted a picture of a face mask. And I asked her, my brother's an ER doctor in Florida, and I said, hey, can I get, 10 of those? And her boyfriend makes them. I said, can I get 10 of those for my brother? And they came back to me and said, hey, absolutely, we're going to mail it to him, no charge. Awesome. And that made me kind of step back and say, whoa, that was powerful. So I went to Wade, who is Danny's boyfriend. I said, hey, can you make 1,200 of these? And he was like, well, yeah. I said, whatever the cost is, let's make 1,200 and let's offer them to everybody here in Vegas that needs them, nurses, doctors. So we posted it on social media, figured that was the quickest way to get it in front of people. And it just started blowing up with the amount of people that needed it. That was another awakening on, okay, we need to do more. So then we did 395 masks. Then we did 200 meals to nurses at Spring Valley and Summerlin Hospital. And then I started thinking about, okay, I sit on the board for Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, and I almost forgot about it because I was so caught up in everything that's going on. I said, okay, now what do they need? And then we started getting them the supplies that they need for homeless youth here in town. So it's something that we're just in the beginning. We're going to continue to give back. It's honestly what the most rewarding thing for me. Yeah. It's better than any sale. It's better than any amount of money you make is giving back. Yeah,
servant leader. We see you serving the community, and we've been huge. I don't know if we're always asking people to donate, do something. We've been a part of the homeless youth. We've done something for those guys last year, and we pick 3-4 charities a year, and we've already done 3 this year. But with how this hits us, this doesn't, like the masks are awesome, the food, everything that we're doing for the community. The community that's given us so much, and we're so blessed we get to do what we love every day. But there's a lot of people that are paralyzed still that don't know what to do. And we get to serve them by masks and food and, just reaching out. And I think wellness checks are huge. Even the church, what they're doing, reaching out to all their parishioners and communicating with them and reaching out to your agents the same way is that type of love that this community, that how we serve this community. And we saw all of it. It's just amazing, just the leadership. So.
Yeah, as I see this community, I love Las Vegas. Let me go ahead and get that out. After seeing Saturday's, broadcast, the response, folks like you guys and what you're doing and how we're responding. But, we're not alone in this. The folks that can help here, they're helping.
Absolutely.
And I love what I heard yesterday was, if there is, if you're not giving now or you're not serving now, then when is a good time? Mm-hmm. Because this is pretty much the epitome of what people or when people are in need. So again, for that, super thanks. And as a team, obviously and listeners, if you can give and you can support right now, especially here at home in Las Vegas, my challenge to you and stretch to you is please do. And please join us. If you don't have an avenue to give or an avenue to support, reach out to Craig, reach out to us, and we can find some way for you to be a part of our services and what we're doing in the community aspect. I think it's super important right now. And again, I'm sorry. I love, your really just the drive that comes from the story you just shared and how you connect with your agents and your teammates and to get them back on track. And then that positive forward thinking of action. How do you inspire them and empower them in this time, work related, to really keep in action and keep supporting clients in both the market we have and in the environment we're in right now?
Yeah, so that's something that I've been dissecting over the past couple of weeks on what is setting us apart from everybody else that's in the industry. And when I look back, when I first opened the company, I made a decision that the only people that we're going to hire are highly productive people. And most agencies looked at us and said, "Well, yeah, they're never gonna make it, right? They're not going to be able to hire enough high quality agents that do enough business to grow a company." And it was tough in the beginning, right? Because you interview agents and they want to join the company and you're just excited that someone wants to be a part of your organization. But to say no to so many people and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, you just don't fit our criteria is extremely difficult. But now that I look back on that, that is what's pushing us through this, where we're not seeing, if the market right now, say last month, it was down 45, 48% in sales, we're down, but we're only down 20%. So to me, we're well exceeding what the market's doing. And to me, that's a great sign that we have the opportunity to take over market share. So it comes down to really hiring the right people and having the right people in place. We don't have there's nobody I'm worried about right now in our company that's going to be left behind. And I don't think too many companies can say that. I think they're actually on the flip side and saying, oh my God, 70% of the people we have may be left behind and they're not going to make it. And then they're so big that they can't have that personal touch. And that's what people need right now, is they need that personal touch and that connection to leadership and know that, hey, this person's there for me and we're going to make it through this and we're going to come out on top.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd be remiss to, so you dug in some numbers already. I love the numbers, the market down locally. You know, where do you see the market going?
You know, I think that really just depends on employment. You know, when do people get back to work? You know, the market right now, I've been watching on a daily basis, a weekly basis. You know, the amount of stuff that's going into contract right now is pretty significant. You know, there's a lot of people out there buying. My concern is, when does that run out if people aren't back to work? Yeah. So if people get back to work in the next 30, 60 days, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to have a strong third and fourth quarter. If this goes through the end of the year, I'm going to be nervous about the real estate market.
Have you been seeing people that you've been listing their house, like, pull it off the market? Have you been seeing them? I heard somewhere that people were listing and pulling them off just because they're uncertain too.
You know, we've had a couple. We've had ones that were in contract where, you know, seller decided, hey, you know what, I'm not selling this house. I don't care if the buyer wants to buy it. We're just not selling it. We're not going anywhere. But for the most part, if they're putting it on the market, it's for a reason. Yeah. They want to sell that property. The most interesting thing to me is a lot of people are pushing virtual showings, virtual open house, and we're all for it. But it almost seems like the consumer, that's not even what they want. The consumer still wants to see the property. They're going out. Almost every single property that I've put in contract in the last 30 days, the buyer physically went to see the property.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like going to Amazon. You buy something, you get it, you're not satisfied. If you go to the store and you look at it, you feel it, you touch it, you buy it. And that's the same thing I heard on the news the other day. A customer going through a property. It's nice to get the virtual tour, but they still want to step into it before they buy it. You know, they want to, you know, I very much agree with that. And, you know, I think virtual tours they're nice to see, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you have to buy on walking into a property and making sure it's the right thing for you. Yeah. Last thing you want to do is have buyer's remorse. You buy it and say, wow, it's smaller than I really thought.
It takes a rare client, or not, I don't want to say rare because they're out there for sure, but clients to buy the unseen properties and
the investors,
different type, the investors, exactly, a different type of buyer.
I think it helps narrow down what you want to look at, right? So if there's, you know, a Matterport on a property, the 3D tour, I think, you know, it's great for a consumer, right? If they can look at, you know, it and say, hey, you know what, that floor plan just doesn't work for me, and narrow it down. But at the end of the day, the property that they go to buy, they're, at least from what I can see, and maybe it'll change, from what I can see, they want to go out and look at it.
You know, I'm thinking, and I'd love to hear from your perspective on this. Something that I've been seeing recently is more and more buyers from out of state being pre-approved to come into our area now still. Mm-hmm. You know, for a while there, and over the course of the fall, we got a lot of folks, California, Florida, Nevada. We saw Texas, and they still exist for us. They're still looking to come to Las Vegas, which brings hope, but also a different style, right? Because we know that they're employed in a different way, or maybe they're retired. How's it been from your perspective with out-of-state buyers coming to town? Yeah,
we're still seeing it. I mean, I would say it's definitely trimmed down a bit. Lots of conversations with people that are coming from out of state that they want to, but they're not quite ready. And you know, I think there's going to be the job market's going to play the biggest factor in that. You know, at the same time, you know, you look at in LA County, they're going to be closed through
3 months,
July
I think,
or something
they
like
said.
that. I mean, if there's ever been a time to question what's going on in life, it's when your city shut down. So I think we'll start to see a lot more California buyers looking at, you know, your Phoenix market and your Las Vegas market even more so serious, and maybe making that move quicker than they thought.
Yeah, I had a client yesterday. He said he really wants to get out of California. He's buying a condo, so he wants to get here quickly, you know. But
we're seeing it from companies too. I saw yesterday some of our local politicians started to pitch to major companies like Elon Musk. Somebody reached out, hey, come to Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know, like we were thriving and booming. We've had amazing leaders in here talking about it, right? All the chambers, right? And then like horse automation. Everyone's still moving forward, right? Yep. You notice like a lot of construction getting done quicker. Roads are expanding. So a lot of the construction that we were behind on seems to really going forward. Like, look at the stadium. Like, gotta ask you, are you going to be a Raider fan?
You know what? I grew up a Giants fan, but I'm not. I don't watch football that much. But I will probably be a Raiders fan
All
somehow,
right.
some way. Yeah, I'm easily swayed.
That's the only
In
hot
sports.
that's the only hot the hot seat question that we're going to give you today, right? Because we've actually done a lot for the Raiders already. We worked with a couple of the players and
Awesome.
some of the management and some really great people
That's
there.
awesome.
So we're very excited about the Raiders coming here. I am definitely a Las Vegas Raider fan.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know, we've actually done the same thing. So we've worked with quite a few of. I'm surprised we haven't crossed paths yet, but quite a few of not so much of on the player side, but a lot of the staff. We actually built out when we first found out that the Raiders were coming. We built out a full relocation package for them. It's like I think it's 150 or 200 pages with everything about Vegas, from like best restaurants to go check out, shows to go see. So I'll share that with you guys, and feel free to share it. But we built that out for them, and that was kind of our in for starting to work with some of the organization.
I love that idea. That's a great outreach that you did. Good job. I mean, really good job on that. I love seeing packets, being distributed. It's a great way for them to connect with our city before they're here on the relocation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see it.
I just love I love the growth. I know we have a setback. The great thing is, being in the real estate market with the financial recession is much different than the medical, what we're going through now, the medical crisis, right? Completely different shift. Then it was much different. How lending has tightened up a little bit. I got to be honest with you, but it's only tightened up because we've been talking about this weekly. It's the forbearances. The forbearances is really what's hurting the lending side. So with that, have you noticed anything with your clients for the ones that are purchasing through a mortgage and not cash?
As far as like,
Yeah, just like, are they having difficulty times getting approved, or like what are you seeing differently when it comes to that type of market?
I mean, we've seen it. I mostly, personally work on the seller side of the transaction, so we have seen a good amount of fallouts. It's just a lot more. We just got to dig more.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing for lenders, right? You guys are probably digging a little bit more with the client on finding out exactly where they're at financially. We got to do the same thing. When I'm representing a seller, I'm getting on the phone with the lender and I'm asking them a series of questions, probably even more questions than I would normally ask, because I want to know everything about this client. And I'm even doing it based on probability of having a job or not having a job. And it's kind of sad, but, I'm finding out what they do, so I can predict whether this is going to close in 30 days or not.
Yeah, because you have a seller that you have to definitely represent, which I agree 100%. We get a lot of those. But what we're doing differently now is like we're literally doing a verbal verification of employment a day of funding.
Wow.
So it's not like 3 days before, it's 3 days and day of, because if they don't have a job or they're furloughed. But for the most part, I think we're kind of past that storm, right? Like the people that are still working, they're buying, right? They're moving up, or a lot of people they're looking to refinance, do home improvements, lower their interest rates, and buy another home, buy up. Some people want to downsize. Craig, I mean, you just been one of those guys that's in this industry that's completely just like leaving a legacy, and like really we talked about what inspires you, but the keys to your success has just been your drive.
I would say the key to my success is showing up. I show up every day. Even when I sucked, I showed up. Yeah. Every day, no matter what, I'm there. Good days, bad days, not feeling so good. Every single day I'm there. Yeah. So, and that's it. I always tell people, I mean, there's plenty of people in this industry way smarter than I am. Yeah. I just put the work in and show up every day and try and do the right thing in every transaction, treat people with respect. It goes such a long way. You get people that you don't even know that are essentially your fans, right? And they're telling other people, hey, they're great to work with, good guy. And people don't realize how far that goes. And then on the flip side, it can be really bad if you don't treat people too well.
That's right. You don't want it to go that further.
Way. Yeah.
Well, how's the family been doing with the quarantine? I know your daughter and your wife. They've been going into the office, or
they're good. Yeah, my wife works at the office, so she's been working at the office. My parents actually came to visit from Florida like a week before the pandemic, so they actually got stuck here for 2.5 months. Wow. So they just left, and it was a blessing in disguise because it's probably the most amount of time that I got to spend with them in probably almost 20 years. So it was cool having them there, and it was a great help with my daughter. So that allowed my wife and I to focus on what we needed to do, and like I said, show up every day. And we shut our office down for probably about a month or so. I had staff working from home. We made the decision about 2 weeks ago to reopen the office, get everybody back in, and we just have staff on like a rotated schedule. We got a couple working from home, but we just felt it was time to get back to the grind. And most of our agents have been, they never stopped. They never took their foot off the gas.
That's huge.
It's that grit and grind, right?
I learned a few of that from a guy I know.
Yeah.
This guy, man, he'll keep you growing. That's what I like to say. He'll keep you
East Coast
growing.
mentality.
It is, man, and I love it.
There's no stop. Your foot's always on the pedal, right? There's no slowing down.
That's right.
It's so funny. So your brother, Data, I know we touched on it briefly, in Florida. How's he doing with all this? He's
doing good. I mean, I think he was nervous in the beginning. He's got 2 daughters. His wife's also a physician's assistant, so she's in front of it also. So they're coming home every day and bringing that. I think the saddest part for doctors and nurses right now is they're all looking at pay cuts, which is kind of sad that they're putting themselves at risk, and their reward is, hey, you're now going to get paid less. Yeah. And I get it from a hospital perspective. It's a business, right? They're not doing elective surgeries. But it's, we got to figure out a way to reward these people that are putting themselves at risk, because, they don't have to, and they're choosing to, and they're in front of it, and they're bringing that home to their families. So, but he's doing good.
That's the thing that a lot of people didn't understand. A lot of because you saw it, like hospitals laying people off. It's because they couldn't do a lot of the stuff. No one, like, even like Desert Radiology and a lot of the companies, they couldn't do regular procedures. They had to postpone all of them, right? Or like your primary care physician, where you have to do telemedicine now, right? You call them up and you have to explain, over the phone. It's very different, And
I talked to an exec from some of our hospitals here, and where they're operating on multi-million-dollar monthly budgets. I think the number was last month $60K, which is a dramatic drop, especially in our neighborhood. For a hospital to operate on, it's a very, very big drop for them.
Hey, Craig, so I love SWAT. I do business plan like every day pretty much, right? But I'm always looking at my opportunities. With this pandemic, I've seen amazing opportunities in the market, right? What's been the biggest opportunity that you've seen that you didn't see that you see now?
Sure. I think the first thing is looking at internally at operations, looking at the people that we have. Is it the right people we have? What are we doing great? What do we need to improve on? So that was the first thing, is being able to really see that and be able to step back instead of just working in the business every day and kind of pushing things to the side so you can keep pushing forward. So being able to take a step back and look at, okay, what can we do better? What do we need to offer to our agents that is going to help them grow their business? The other thing too is just being realistic that the opportunity is still the same clientele. Nothing's changed. Where in 2008, it changed. You had to go after banks. You had to go after people that were in distressed. Right now, people still have a ton of equity, right? Yeah. It's still the same clientele. The opportunity is realizing that majority of the competition is on a 2-month vacation, and we're not. So we have right now, you're going to see a shift in market share, I think, with a lot of companies. And I'm confident that we're going to be the company that has the least amount of agents, surpassing companies that have 200, 300, 400 agents. And we're going to get to that point. And that was my goal originally. And this setback is really going to allow us to push there even quicker than I had planned.
Man, for agents that have just started out, maybe in our city or whatnot, what advice would you give them right now to help them, take that next step in their career and keep moving during this time?
Yeah. So I think, if you're a brand new agent, one, you got to show up every single day. Find someone that you look up to, someone that has a business that you want to mirror, or and go work for that person. Go figure out a way to get a job with that person, show up every single day, watch every single thing they do, and put the work in. It's such a simple business. We really have the simplest business, but we make it complicated as agents, I think. It's show up, get in front of people. So figure out, how do I get in front of the most amount of people every single day?
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing.
It's a great question too. I really, that's for newbies. So Were you big into going? So before the pandemic, were you guys big in a lot of social events?
No.
No.
I don't know. I like to go into the office, do my work, and at some point I want to be able to shut down. And for me, the last thing I want to do is go to an event, maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, if it's someone that invites me and out of respect, I'll typically go, but I'm just not really big into events. So for me, I'm not missing out on anything right now.
I'm just saying because there was a lot of like the 40 on the 40. I saw you a few of those over the years. You've won so many prestigious awards in this town. So just curious, because I know that's going to be a major change going on. Because we had someone in here yesterday, we're talking about, because the whole chamber is based off of, events, right?
Yeah.
Going to and meeting people and growing your business. So, the opportunities, but, they've shifted a lot of stuff to virtual. And I see you guys doing a ton of virtual meetings and so forth with your staff. But Craig, if people want to, just look a little bit, into your business, like how can people reach out to you, or where can they find your company information, or, people that really want to engage you, like what's the best way to reach out to you?
Sure. I mean, you could always call me direct. I mean, I have my cell phone all over, I'm one of those agents that for the most part, my cell phone is everywhere. So I'm very easy to get a hold of. Email is my first name. So it's craig@huntingtonellis.com. Instagram, I don't even know what my personal Instagram handle is, but the company one is a great place to go. It's @Huntington Ellis. We post a lot on social. It's all about our agents. So you'll mostly see properties that we're listing, things that we have going on in the office. So that's probably the best place. But, I guess I'm old school. Yeah. Pick up the phone and call me.
Yeah.
That's us too, man. I mean, just pick up the phone. We love having conversations. Yeah. We put our cell phone on everything.
Yeah, I always ask people to call. I want to give a shout out to Sharon. I love that he went to your company. I know we talked about that, but he's one of my favorite people. I had dinner with him a couple of times, just casual, not business, just friend-wise, and he's just a great guy.
Yep,
he's
Sharon's awesome.
Just such a great guy, and I'm so happy he went to work with you guys and work for such a great company.
Well, man, I tell you, I appreciate it again. I got to share that. I appreciate you coming in, spending the time to give your insight and perspective of how you guys have been operating during this time. And for listeners, I mean, if you're not inspired to just keep going and really, just eliminate mediocre activities and really get into your best version of yourself right now, because when we get out of this thing, the market and just the entire city is going to need you to be at your best. And that's obviously what you and your team are doing. And that's what we and our team are doing to work and hopefully inspire somebody to really just come out of this firing like a cannon. So thank you again. And of course, guys, anytime you want to keep up, please reach out to Craig and his team. He's obviously doing great things over here. And I imagine we're going to see a whole lot more of you around Las Vegas.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a pleasure, and anything I could ever do for you guys, please let me know. And anyone that's listening, if you ever need anything, you want to chat, feel free to reach out.
Thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode.